Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well today. Today I have, surprise, surprise, a Bath&BodyWorks haul to share with you. I am really excited about this particular video. This is mostly candles with a couple of wallflowers, and this was two separate online purchases. The candles to the left are the bakery quote-unquote hype online only candles that were released very spontaneously and to many people's surprise by Bath&BodyWorks, I think around Mother's Day. And then the candles to the right, as well as the wallflowers, was another purchase I had made online, I think about 6 or 7 weeks ago, but never made it into a video, so I decided to put it all into one collective haul to share with you. As with all of my haul videos, I am going to show you the candle up close, talk about the notes, and then give you my cold sniff impressions. Of course, this isn't a true candle review because I have not burned these candles yet. There are a couple of these that I have burned in the past, so I can give you a bit more thoughts on those. But for the most part, this is going to be cold sniff first impressions. I have tried to warm these up, and I have spent several days with all of these candles trying to gather my thoughts, so I hope it is informative in case these do pop back up online or they do end up in stores, and to see if maybe you would be interested in purchasing them for yourself. So if you're interested in seeing my haul and hearing my thoughts, let's get started. Okie dokie, I am going to start with the couple of like random things I have here. The first thing I have is this really pretty candle holder. This one is $14.50, and I did use a reward coupon to get this for free. I just think it's really pretty and delicate and nice, and you basically put a candle inside here like this. I like that you can kind of still see the colors from the label, but it's just really pretty, I think. I think my only complaint about this is that there's really no room for your hand to sort of get the candle out. So, I mean, you would really have to like dump it upside down to get the candle out. So that would be my only complaint. But I think to use this more as like a decorative piece is what I'm gonna do, and not utilize it like for burning candles. But I did think it made a really nice reward item. The next thing I have here is this super cute peacock. I think this is a peacock. Really fancy bird pocket back holder. This is $8.95, so you definitely could use a reward coupon. I really love the fluffy pocket back holders. At this point, I've kind of sort of unintentionally started collecting them because I've been picking them all up. I think it's just really cute. It's sleeker than some of the other, like I guess smaller than some of the other pom-pom ones. You obviously would put the pocket back here. I just think it's really pretty and cute and nice for summertime, so I did pick this one up. And then I also picked up a couple of wallflowers. Actually, I picked up 6, but I've already used 2. I picked up the crisp apple, which actually smells very similar to the country apple body care to me. The cucumber verbena, I picked up 2 of these. I'm using one now. Oh, I'm definitely going to pick up a lot more of these. The scent is amazing. It definitely reminds me of Summer Terrace from last year or 2 years ago. The notes are green tea, watery cucumber, and verbena, and I just love cucumber anyway. This may in fact be a repackage of Summer Terrace, but either way, Bath&BodyWorks, where's the matching candle in this scent? You brought us the wallflower and the hand soap. Are you going to bring us the candle? I'd really love the candle in this scent. It is fabulous. Absolutely love it. We'll definitely be picking up more of that one. Raspberry Tangerine matches the candle, which I'll talk about in a moment. And then Saltwater Breeze is fresh linen, violet leaves, and white water blossom, which I've really been enjoying the body care, so I wanted to pick that up in wallflower form as well. Okie dokie. I'm going to start with these candles over here first. The first one I have here is Woodland Springs. The notes are white sandalwood, sparkling spring water, and blonde patchouli. And I picked this up because I was really hoping that this was going to be a green or aquatic or spring kind of scent. And unfortunately for me, but it may be great for other people, this definitely registers as a cologne scent. I really like the packaging of this. It's pretty, and the lids are also really pretty on these candles, as you can see here with the flowers. This is a fresh cologne scent, and I'm sorry that I can't give you more details, but I can barely smell this in the jar without it giving me a massive headache, so I don't want to sniff this one again. But if you like cologne scents, definitely check this one out. The next one I have here is Raspberry Tangerine, and I think this wrapping is really pretty as well. The notes are wild raspberries, fresh tangerine, and lemon zest, and these all have white wax, by the way. I really like this scent. Fruity lovers rejoice. This one is sweet, fruity, juicy, a little bit tart and tangy. I love it. I love the balance of the sweetness from the fruit, the tangy tartness that kind of makes my mouth water, and then the citrus notes that brighten it. I would probably say there's a little bit more of the citrus notes than like the raspberry and other fruits, but it is just wonderful. If you like your fruity, sweet, tangy scent, I think that you would really like this one. I'm really looking forward to burning this one very soon. The next one I picked up is Crisp Green Apple. I love the vibrant colors of this packaging. The notes are juicy citrus, fresh pineapple, and sugar crystals, which that's interesting notes because there's definitely apple in this scent for sure. This one is noted to be an online exclusive or online only candle. So I assume that when stores do reopen, that like raspberry tangerine will be in stores, but this one will only be available online. This scent was out last year as Crisp Green Apple. I fell in love with it. I think this was one of my top scents of the year, or at least an honorable mention. To me, this smells almost exactly like a green apple Jolly Rancher candy. There is a juiciness and almost sour quality to this that I absolutely love. When I sniff it, it definitely makes my mouth pucker just a little bit, and it is fantastic. When it burns, I find that that sort of sour note dials down a bit, but it still has a nice tartness to balance out the sweetness, and it is another wonderful fruity scent. The next one I have here is the return of Linen and Lavender, which I am really excited about. It did come out last year for the first time. I was a little bit nervous at first that they weren't going to bring it out again, but here it is. The notes are crisp linen, lavender sea salt, and fresh air breeze, and I absolutely love this one. This one just has white wax with the plain White Barn lids. I think the packaging is pretty, it's purple, it's effective. This is a very fresh, almost soapy, clean lavender scent. It came out in the hand soap years before it was brought out in the candle, and I use the hand soap constantly in my kitchen. So it's just a really nice, fresh, soapy, clean lavender scent, and I really, really enjoy it. So I'm really glad to see it back. Okie dokie, so let me get into the bakery, quote unquote, online only hype candles. I'm gonna start over to the left. Before I get started, just a little bit more background about this collection. It did drop around Mother's Day, I think a little bit before maybe, and it dropped really early in the morning, I think, which the people on the West Coast understandably were a bit frustrated about because they really didn't have the opportunity to get the candles, because I think it dropped like 6 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. There were 3 additional candles in this collection which I did not pick up. The first one being Strawberry Maple Waffles. I'll do a slide screen here. This is the one that I definitely would have wanted and would have wanted to pick up. I think some people have speculated this is a repackage of Strawberry Pound Cake. I haven't smelled this, total speculation. I don't think it would be. It doesn't really make sense from a marketing standpoint for Bath&BodyWorks to repackage Strawberry Pound Cake when Strawberry Pound Cake is popular in and of itself. And based on the other candles in this collection that I have, I would think that Strawberry Maple Waffles would be a possible repackage with a twist or a new scent altogether. So I do hope at some point I get to try that one, but I am not at this point willing to pay $40 to $60 on Macaron. I love Bath & Body Works, but I don't love them that much, I guess. I do have my limits. So I'm hoping that we see it back online at some point so I can get it at a reasonable price. The next candle in this collection that I did not pick up was the Key Lime Pie. I could have picked this one up, but I didn't want it because I assumed that it would be a re-release of Key Lime Pie from semi-annual sale last year, which to me smelled like Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops kind of cereal scent versus an authentic Key Lime Pie. I know a lot of people love that scent, but it just wasn't for me, so I didn't pick that one up. And then the next one was Clementine Sherbet. I also didn't pick that one up because, again, I assumed that it might be a repackage of the Orange Creamsicle candle that was released a couple years ago. And while I like that scent, I didn't really feel like I needed that particular scent. So those are the 3 that I didn't pick up. Okay, so without further ado, let me just get started and quit rambling. The first one I have here is Blackberry Cobbler. Now, as you can see, all of these have the frosted white glass, the Bath & Body Works black lids, and they all have white wax. The notes are fresh blackberries, brown sugar glaze, and cobbler crust. And what I found with a lot of candles in this collection is that they are very similar to other candles, or they seem to have like use the base notes of another candle, but they're still slightly different. So Blackberry Cobbler to me definitely has some blueberry pie in it for sure. In fact, I smell the entirety of the blueberry pie candle in this, but there is absolutely 100% a blackberry note in this candle. I definitely think that the base of this candle is blueberry pie, except the pie crust is definitely dialed down, and you definitely get a very distinct blackberry. This is very common in vendor wax. For any of you who also do vendor wax, there is a popular scent, let's just say salty sea air, and then a lot of vendors will take that scent and they'll mix it with a whole bunch of different things, and then you'll have a whole selection of salty sea air blends. So this is very common, I think, in the home fragrance world. So it makes sense to me that Bath & Body Works would take a very popular scent like blueberry pie, add additional notes to it, see if they can tweak it to create a new scent out of something that was already really popular. I have to say that the blackberry oil that they've chosen to use is not my particular favorite, at least on Cold Snip. There's some kind of a little bit of a floral undertone. I'm hoping this is gonna be similar to like PB&J, where that odd sort of not really pleasing note dissipates when it's actually burning. So I'm hoping that when I burn it, that's what happens here. I think this is gonna be one that I'm gonna have to judge fully when it's burning. The next one I have here is Chocolate Rose Macaron, and the notes are creamy chocolate, rose petals, and crispy macaron cookie. And I was probably not very excited about this one either because I'm not a huge fan of rose, but I really like this one. I agree with Tina Delicious, who said that this was very similar to Cherry Mocha that came out last year. I definitely agree with that. I get Cherry Mocha with rose in a nutshell. If you smell that one, you know exactly then what this smells like now. The rose is not overpowering. I do detect the rose. It's definitely there for me, but it is not the dominant note, which is probably why I like this one a lot. Chocolate and rose is actually a scent combination that I have had in vendor wax. I've also had chocolate, rose, and lavender, which is beautiful. It sounds pretty odd, but it's actually really nice because we mix vanilla with rose, we mix vanilla with lavender. Why not chocolate? It's just a different sweetness to balance out the floral notes. So while it sounds odd, it really works in execution, in my opinion. To me, there's definitely cherry, but not like that sweet, juicy, sweet cherry pie cherry. There's that sort of almost liquidy chocolate. There's a little bit of a bakery, and there is a nice sweet rose that I detect, and I actually really like it. I think if you think about the lavender chocolate, the lavender cacao candle that Bath & Body Works released a couple of years ago in that Test Lab collection, this is sort of a similar concept with rose instead of lavender. I love when these kind of candles surprise me. I love when there's a candle that I'm not excited about and then I get it, I'm like, oh wow, I'm really glad that I picked this up. So if you like Cherry Mocha and you don't mind rose, I think you'd like this one. If you're a rose fan and you don't mind chocolate, I think you'd like this one. If you're adventurous like me and you kind of like a lot of different things, and even if you're not a huge fan of chocolate, the chocolate in here is not like an artificial triple chocolate layer cake kind of chocolate. It's nice, it's palatable, and I really like this one a lot. The next one I have here is Cherry Hand Pie, which I think is just a kind of funny name. The notes are juicy cherries, brown sugar, and warm pastry crust. And I'll have to say that this one is 90% sweet cherry pie. If you've never smelled that candle, it is a very juicy cherry scent with pie crust. Now I did compare this one side by side with sweet cherry pie, and there might italicized, be a little bit more of a bakery note in this version. It totally could be my nose searching for differences, so let me know what y'all think if you have smelled this one. Do you think it's just a total repackage of sweet cherry pie, or do you think it's slightly different? I'm pretty much leaning toward it's a complete repackage of sweet cherry pie, and if there's any differences, there's a slight increase in bakery. But if this one passes, and if you like sweet cherry pie, or if you just like cherry bakery scents, I think this one's gonna be a hit with you. The next one I have is Coffee Crumb Cake, and the notes are coffee crumb cake, sweet praline, and whipped vanilla frosting. And oh my goodness, this one is fantastic. 2 words for my vendor wax people out there. Well, 4 words. Destination Wax Moon Spice Cookie in a candle, but sweeter, okay? And if you're not into Lavender wax and you have no idea what that is, this is a fantastic coffee bakery scent with spice. So there's definitely spice in this. Think of a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of clove, not over the top spicy, but there is a little bit of spice. You definitely get the coffee and you definitely get the bakery. What also is in this candle is a swirl of caramel. I definitely detect Bath&BodyWorks pretty standard ultra sweet caramel that they use in lots of different candles. Thankfully, this candle is not too sweet. The other notes really balance out that caramel, but I definitely get a very distinct swirl of caramel in this scent. This is definitely not a repackage of the previous coffee scents. I do have Paris Cafe here. It's come out in several different variations. This is just the one I had closest to me that I grabbed. I did compare it to some of the old Bath & Body Works coffee scents that I have, like I think Mocha Coffee Swirl, whatever it was called. I have an espresso one. I compared it to those. This is not a repackage of any of those that at least I have on hand. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Again, a little bit of spice, coffee, bakery, and then this swirl of sweet caramel. And I think it's actually really good and I can't wait to burn it. The next one I have is Brownie Batter Swirl, and the notes are brownie batter, chocolate chunks, powdered sugar, and vanilla. And like I mentioned already, this is one that I wasn't really excited about. I thought, oh, another chocolate scent. I thought it was going to be a repackage of hot cocoa and cream or one of their other chocolate scents, but I have to say it's not. It's not hot cocoa and cream. It's not chocolate lava cake. It's not hot fudge sundae. But what it definitely reminds me of is campfire donut mixed with chocolate. To me, I don't sniff this and think brownie batter, because to me brownie batter has a very rich ooey gooey chocolate scent, but this to me smells more like the Hostess chocolate covered donuts, the little mini donuts. I'll do a slide screen here. That's what this makes me think of. I definitely get what registers to me as that donut powdered sugar note from Campfire Donut. It's not a repackage of that entire scent, but if you take that powdered sugar donut oils from that Campfire Donut candle and then you mix a powdered chocolate cocoa powder into that and you add a little bit of a syrupy chocolate glaze, to me that is exactly what this candle smells like. The powdered sugar and the donut vibes to me are the stronger notes, and the chocolate tones are less dominant and not as present, but they are there. When I did compare it side by side to Campfire Donut, the chocolate notes do make themselves known. So yeah, if you like Campfire Donut, which didn't have the best burn, so I'm hoping that the chocolate added to this is going to help with that, then I think you're really gonna like this one. Don't be afraid of this one if you're not a chocolate fan. It is not like super in your face chocolate, and it's not artificial, and it's actually really fantastic. So another one that I'm really excited to burn. The next one I have is Banana Nut Muffin, and the notes are sweet banana, golden nutmeg, and cinnamon sugar muffin. And this one I was actually hoping was a repackage of banana bread nutmeg pudding, and maybe Bath & Body Works was attempting to repackage that scent, but I don't think it's the same. And in fact, this is not like any of the recent banana candles. It's not banana split. It's not the peanut butter banana swirl cookie, whatever one that just came out recently last fall that I cannot think of for the life of me at the moment. I compared side by side to all of those in my candle closet, and it was not a repackage of any of those. Despite not being the repackage I was actually hoping for, I do really like this scent. I've heard several people say that it's nutmeg heavy, and I would agree with that, but I've also heard people say there's not banana in it, and I would disagree with that. There's absolutely banana in this. It's not a Laffy Taffy banana. It's not a banana pudding banana or a banana ice cream sort of extra sweet banana, but it definitely is a banana bread note in this candle for sure. What I kind of think of here is that I'm making my banana bread and I'm putting my spice in, and accidentally, instead of putting 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, I accidentally put 1/2 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. That's kind of what it makes me think of, because it makes me feel like someone just accidentally put a little bit too much nutmeg. I like nutmeg though. I like that kind of spice, so I do like this scent. And I think, especially when I warmed up the actual wax, it does feel like the nutmeg dials down a little bit and becomes more balanced with the other notes. And I think it's really nice. I think it's a really good attempt at a banana bread, warm banana bread kind of scent. So whether you think of it as a muffin or bread, I think it's nice, and another one that I'm really looking forward to trying. The next one I have here is Coconut Cream Pie. and the notes are toasted coconut, vanilla whipped cream, and homemade pie crust. And this one doesn't excite me as much because this smells very similar, if not the same, as coconut cream pie that I have smelled time and time again in vendor wax. It is actually a very popular blending scent in vendor wax. So if you are into vendor wax, think about Destination Wax's coconut cream pie. Think about that. A lot of vendors have that coconut cream pie scent, so think about that. If you're not into vendor wax, it smells like the inside of a coconut cream pie. Definitely you get this coconut that's been toasted, sort of a sweetened coconut. You definitely get this sort of buttery, pudding, kind of almost custardy filling mixed with the coconut, and then you do get a little bit of a pie crust. Comparing it to other Bath & Body Works candles, it does sort of remind me of the coconut macaroon candle, minus that chai spice that was in that one. The coconut especially is very similar to the coconut in that scent. I don't have another one of those to compare them side by side, so I can't definitively say how close of a repackage this might be, but it's nice. If you like your coconut pie scent, and especially if you like a little bit of a buttery, not overly sweet kind of bakery scent, then I think you'd really like this one. And lastly, I have frosted pumpkin cookie. The notes are pumpkin cookie crust, buttercream frosting, and cinnamon sugar. And this one has me pulling out all the pumpkin candles, okay? Let me just show you here. Let me scoot this one over. I pulled out pumpkin carving. I pulled out pumpkin pie. I pulled out one of my sweet cinnamon pumpkins, and I have pulled out pumpkin clove just to try to compare and see which scent this is closely related to. And I have to say, this scent is so similar to so many other candles, pumpkin candles and pumpkin bakery candles, but it's also different. So I think that I would call this a new scent, although it definitely has components from a lot of other candles. Basically what this smells like is a frosted pumpkin cookie. Okay, so just, it really does. You definitely get a can of pumpkin. I think it's Libby's that makes the can of pumpkin. You've dumped out that can of pumpkin. You have put some spice. Definitely there's a little bit of spice in this. There's definitely some cinnamon, a little bit of clove. And then you definitely get sort of a buttery cookie, or I also can kind of imagine this to be a cupcake. And then you definitely get a vanilla frosting. So that's what this smells like to me. A frosted pumpkin cookie. I think the name is very applicable. Comparing it to other Bath & Body Works candles, I would say take a little bit of the pumpkin and the spice from sweet cinnamon pumpkin, dial it way down, mix with a little bit of that sort of authentic fleshy pumpkin from pumpkin patch, pumpkin carving, and a little bit more of that pumpkin that's in pumpkin pie that smells more like a can of pumpkin versus like an authentic pumpkin. Mix that with a little bit of Mary Cookie and the icy note from frosted vanilla cupcake, and I think that's what you have here. I think I've broken it down sufficiently. The pumpkin doesn't match any of the other aforementioned candles exactly. I thought it was gonna be closer to pumpkin patch, pumpkin carving, but to me that pumpkin is more of a fresh, you're carving the inside of a pumpkin. Whereas the pumpkin and pumpkin pie is more of that canned pumpkin, but it definitely has something that reminds me of sweet cinnamon pumpkin. I think it's the cinnamon note. There's this sort of warmth to this. The cinnamon has a little bit of a red hot aspect, but it's not dominant. It's not overpowering. If you're afraid of spice, you shouldn't be bothered by this, I don't think. It does also make me think of vanilla pumpkin marshmallow, but like amped up and super strong. That I think is like a vanilla pumpkin scent that a lot of people love. And this is also a sort of vanilla pumpkin scent, but you get a lot of bakery, a lot more pumpkin, and yeah, it's just really nice. It's a really nice pumpkin bakery scent. So I'm actually also really excited about this one. It does not smell like the original frosted pumpkin cookie that came out however many years ago, and I'm actually kind of glad about that because that particular scent to me had a very odd sweetness that I didn't prefer. This smells like the name. So if you like pumpkin bakery, you're gonna like this scent. I think it's really nice. Okie dokie, y'all, that is it. That is my Bath & Body Works haul. This was just exciting to kind of pull a bunch of other candles in my collection and compare them to. There are a lot of similarities with other candles, but I have to say that I'm pretty impressed. Like, when I first saw the lid of some of these, I just took that very quick first impression. I was like, were these worth it? Were these worth all the hype? I definitely would not pay $40 to $60 for any of these candles. Okay, so even as myself, being a very die-hard Bath and Body Works candle fanatic, I would still not pay that much for any of these. Even strawberry maple waffles, which I would love to have, I would not pay that much for. I don't think there are any of them that are that unique or outstanding, but I definitely understand the FOMO and wanting to sniff these for yourself and wanting to experience them, because you know, if you're into Bath and Body Works candles, and if you're into the brand and just want to experience it and you want to be part of the conversation. So I totally understand that. I'm not faulting anyone who has spent that money. That's your money. You can spend it how you want to. That's not a choice I would make personally. And I say all that because if you really want these, like, I don't think they're worth that much money. They're good. I'm happy with them, but they're none of these that I think, oh my gosh, you know, are worth that much money for me personally. Okay, so again, I'm not judging people who do buy that, but I guess I'm trying to reassure people who couldn't get their hands on them that it's okay. Like, I really think they're going to bring these out again, either in this collection or they're going to bring them out in future collections. I think we're going to see several of these in the fall. I have to say my favorites on cold sniff, which could totally change when burning, would be coffee crumb cake. I'm also really impressed with brownie batter swirl because of that campfire donut. I really like chocolate rose macaron and the banana nut muffin because I love a good banana scent. Blackberry cobbler, you know, there's this iffiness about the blackberry oil they chose there. Cherry ham pie, too close to sweet cherry pie. Coconut cream pie, I've had that so often. In Lavender wax, frosted pumpkin cookie, of course. I mean, who doesn't love a good pumpkin bakery? So they all are really good. As far as these other candles, of course, I'm glad the crisp green apple, linen lavender came back. Raspberry tangerine, really excited to try that one as well. So really, there's only one miss for me totally, and that's Woodland Springs, which will be returned whenever my stores open and whenever I'm allowed to do returns. That will definitely get exchanged because I just cannot do cologne scents like that. I just can't do it. So let me know in the comments below what you think. Okay, first of all, I want to have a really good big discussion. I want to know your thoughts on these. If you have these, let me know what you think. Do you agree with my assessments? Do you disagree with my assessments? This isn't I'm right, you're wrong. I'm genuinely curious on what other people think. We all interpret scents differently, and I think depending on how much experience you have with different oils in different ways, it changes how you interpret scents. So I'm really curious on what y'all's thoughts are. If you haven't smelled these or weren't able to get any, which ones are you really excited about trying to get at some point? Which ones do you really hope they bring back? Would love to hear that as well. And if you're not interested at all, then I don't know why you're watching this video. So if you watch this video in its entirety, leave me a bakery emoji below. Cake, a cupcake. I don't know how many there are out there. I think there's a few. I always love to see like what emojis y'all come up with. If you like this video or found it helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you like to see other videos like this, please subscribe. I do have my vendor wax empties coming up very soon, as well as I do have some other hauls that will likely be coming as well. So if you're interested in those and you have not yet subscribed, please do so. Thank you all so much for watching and commenting and liking and subscribing. I really appreciate all of you. I think we have a great community, so thank you so much. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye.